Oh my goodness. I did it. Well, I can see it's not very clear, maybe just on my end. But let me go to my channel, you guys, and pop in, say hi, right? Let me know that I got this going on right. It's a little bit of adapt and conquer, right? Try and figure things out as I go along. But the thing is, I figure this stuff out. So let's hope, pop in. Come on, somebody say hi. Let me know that you got this okay, right? Oh, awesome. I did that all by myself. I was shuffling along in my walk-in. It's kind of like a storage room. They give us a little space, for like the bike and things that so it's like twice the size, maybe three times the size of a closet. And I was in there dangling from this rack trying to reach a bag that was super heavy, and I wasn't quite sure if it was the bag I was looking for. I don't know if you guys do this. Where did I put that silly thing? And hello, everybody. I just dumped it all over the floor and everything, but with technology, right? As we move along in technology, things change all the time. And you guys know that I'm working in social media, and though I don't spend a lot of money on the technology, right? I do I do need things as I go and as I figure things out, right? This here and this here is full of not expired, but almost like expired. Andrew, give me the word I'm looking for. Uh Expired, out of date, non-significant. I'm looking for a certain word right now, but I have so much of it. Cords and adapters and cameras and oh my goodness, when I was looking for the whole point of this is I was going live on my phone on YouTube, and YouTube doesn't allow you to go horizontal, right? If you're on your phone, and I didn't realize that because I always do my lives on my PC. Look at it. It's my very first cell phone. This, you guys. Do you guys remember these ones? My brother-in-law still prefers these simple phones, but it was the first cell phone with the internet. I never used the internet because I didn't know anything about it. The only thing I used about the screen was when it came up the person's name and phone number just to double check that I was getting the number right. And it's so right, like how did they know that the first cell phone was going to look like Captain Kirk's beam me up Scotty kind of instrument, right? And that's innovation. And that's exactly what I'm talking about as I'm moving forward. I keep stumbling into these little roadblocks and everything as I go. Now I'm just going to go into my channel here, um, only because I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch, well, maybe I'll do it on a different screen. I don't want to watch the stream on the stream itself just because of the quality. I hope the quality isn't like that with everybody who's watching my live tonight, but it is what it is. I am showing up, doing the best that I can, and I'll tell you all about it in a minute. But just so I don't lose track, and here I am. Let's see. Hopefully, this is a little bit better. Let's turn the sound off because I don't need the sound. Yeah. So I had this camera. It didn't work, but then last night I realized that you can turn it on, and I said, "Oh, I didn't do that." So I tried tonight to use that because I thought that was going to be the problem. But this camera is actually for video games, right? This game is for video games. So I wasn't able to get it going even though I did try tonight. If worse comes to worse, I would have used my telephone again, right? I would have used my phone again, but it would have been a very short live. I wouldn't have been able to join you in the comments. Maybe I could, but right, I'm not familiar with the formatting on YouTube when it comes to live, and I was trying to play it out like it was my Instagram, and we know I was doing this show every day on Instagram, so it's just habit to do it the way that I'm used to. It's in the patterning, right? Okay. The film I can see is not super duper, right? Let me see if I can get higher. Oh, I can't go any higher than 360p. That's pretty that's pretty bad. Can any of you guys see it any better than 360p? Oh my goodness. It was the only camera I had in my bag. I could take a look to see because it's quite possible because I have this bag, which is absolutely just huge and full of stuff. And then I have this little box, which is well, I actually probably started out with a freezer bag or something like that. But then it progressed to this little box that I had from popcorn. And this I've had since like probably the late 90s. And as things become defunct, or I think I've broken it, or, you know, I want something new. I want it right. I don't throw this stuff away because maybe I'll need this end or something. I'm thinking, right? Okay, let me come into the comments just to make sure you guys are okay with how we're doing my live tonight. I'm going to apologize. Like I said, I couldn't use my phone, but I don't think it would have been a very long live show. Also, I'm grateful that I had this extra webcam in my bag of tricks here, right? And these are the things that make it so you hoard these kind of items, right? Because you get one success, and even though it's not a full success because the um, the the camera isn't exactly perfect, right? But that's okay. That's okay. It still came in super handy, and it made it possible that we can sit here for as long as we want and have a conversation. And maybe you might not see the live absolutely perfect, but I'm here, right? We're hanging out together, right? I am proud of the effort. I certainly am. And 5 minutes, right? Even when I'm up and running, I don't get in within that 5 minutes on the norm. So right. So we'll do that. We'll do that too. So let's go into the comments, you guys, and see what's going on. Hello. Hello, Andrew. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Kathy. Oh my goodness. How's your week's been going? Oh, was there some flooding? Yeah, here out in Winnipeg too, there was quite a bit of rain. I have big construction going on the street in front of us, and it's a fairly busy street. Like it has buses on it, so they've got it down to one lane, and at rush hour time, this is a route that people use to get home much faster or going to work, right? And they're ready to go to work, but the ditches are all filled with water, and they'll be pouring concrete and stuff, so they gotta wait for it to dry out. Otherwise, the job would have been done. They have to do it soon because usually here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, we get snow on Halloween night. It's usually the norm that we're usually pretty. It gets pretty cold, right? But that's a good thing when it starts getting cold like that because it sucks that moisture out of the ground, right? It just kind of pulls it out, and it helps the ground to stiffen up. And yeah, it can cause some problems if it decides to get slightly warm and it starts to rain. But once it gets cold like that, you want the snow to start compacting on it and stuff so that when you do have those occasional warm days, because even in the wintertime, we do have those occasional warm days, and you don't want to be have the ground at that point, right? Beginning of winter to be so soft that it's absorbing more moisture, right? Yeah, so yeah, I don't watch the news. I don't know what the weather's been like around the world in all truth. I have been wrapped on here we go into right my week of learning computers and learning about laptops, and even today, even like 20 minutes ago, I discovered that I didn't have my sharing settings on, and that was probably one of the reasons I was having such problems with having my accounts recognize my editing program. So that I kind of figured out, and I understand too that even if I didn't get that absolutely perfect, at least I'm able to share to something. And yeah, I totally crashed my laptop. Well, thinking back on it now, maybe if I had given it some more time and some more playing around, but after that little scare the last time, that I didn't want to, right, destroy my investment because it was a really, really huge investment. The two things that I wanted to get, well, there were other things, but the two major things that I wanted to get accomplished in my fiscal year. And my fiscal year for myself is always my birthday. My birthday's coming up. Another just 2 weeks away, right? Almost 2 weeks away. So I really wanted to make sure that that I'm doing good for myself, that I'm sorting things out for myself, that I'm accomplishing some of those goals that I set out for myself. And the two major ones that I had for this year, well, the number one is the vacation that I do every year, because as I'm moving forward in other aspects of myself, right in those moments where it's frustration or I feel I need to get away, or I want to immerse myself that in something that brings me joy, that I have something to look forward to, and especially in those times when things do get difficult, right? And you're struggling, you don't see that movement, that you could become disillusioned, and you should have other things in your life that when you get to feeling that way, that it's like flipping a switch for a little while. You flip the switch and you experience another aspect of something that you love that's totally different from something. And that's kind of what I'm the situation I'm in right now, because I'm forced to adapt in my showing up here on YouTube and on Instagram. The challenge is to get it done, right? To get it done while I'm dealing with all these other things like my laptop, and hopefully I'll have my laptop back in the next day or two. That would be absolutely amazing. I have an amazing friend that did me a solid kindness, right? He knows more about computers than I do, and I'm sure he has things to do in his own life, and yet he's taking time to help me out. And while he's doing that, because I can't do anything, right? I can do a little surfing, I can watch YouTube videos, right? But for the most part, I'm doing things that I need to do. And when I say I was dealing with that laptop, I truly was, like, even in between the projects, the other things of mine, because I didn't wanna go back to work not accomplishing anything and then actually going a little bit backwards. So I did the best I could in that movement forward. Like I got my entranceway completely redone and ready for winter now, right? I need one more storage container so that I could, right? Instead of putting coats in there, I can, right? I can utilize that space and make more space for the storage that I lack in this small apartment that I live in, right? But I'm getting ready to move. I'm getting ready to, right, to get a nice little one bedroom in a nice little apartment with trees and, right, a nice view and nice neighbors. Not that I don't have nice neighbors here. They're very lovely, but it's time for me to move, right? Set up this apartment for somebody else who might be in need of shelter. So again, that plan is for this spring to make that move. I have goals, one which is the well, okay, so go back to the two goals that I set out. The one was my vacation for the one that I do every year and create a vacation. That's one goal, right? And then that second goal that I set out for myself was the laptop, right? And that was toughy because, right, I was scared that if I spent all that money on the laptop before, right, I solidify the cost of my vacation, thinking thinking that my vacation was more important. And it is important, but that laptop is everything, right? This is something that's gonna do me very, very well. And even though, right, I've been messing with it and stuff, we're gonna have it back up and running, right? No problem at all. And I'll be back here bigger, right? And better. Knowing a little bit more than what I did. Well, I think I'll be going into 2 weeks pretty soon. If I Well, I'm in my second week now of dealing with that laptop, but I was still able to use the cameras and stuff and be able to do my lives and everything, right? But now I was dangling from rafters trying to find this webcam, this really, really old webcam. And it's a good brand, it's logistics, but it's probably, from like 1993 or something like that, right? But I did it. I adapted and conquered, and I can be here tonight, right, for as long, right, as we want. So going back to, if we're talking about uh, goals, if we're talking about the goals for this year, I had them written down. I'm sure I can drum them up in the top of my head, but lots of them are for personal, right? So every year my income tax is the priority because that's the big income tax refund, right? And that's when I get one big chunk that I can count on, right? And I always, at the beginning of the year, or as soon as I get my one income tax, I make the decision as to when or what I'm going to use the next income tax return, what I'm going to use that for. And I stick to it. I've never swayed from that. And it's something I've done for decades, right? Since I've been doing income tax returns, right? Because when you are low income, right? When you are in that poverty mindset, right? Because we cling on to things. We'd like to think that I am abundant, and there is no doubt about how abundant I am because I have amazing health. Grateful for my good health, right? I have amazing sisters who are all still kicking, right? And they're dear to me. And they make me feel like I'm rooted into something because if it wasn't for them, right? I wouldn't even be in Winnipeg. I would have moved somewheres else, like, right? Lived the life. And I right, and it has been on because we've been talking about my plan for this year. One of them is to move. The other one is my income tax return. I have dedicated that to dental because I need dental work. This month, I am working on my glasses, right? To get my glasses fixed. So I'm making these goals in my own self-care, right? Filling my cup up, getting myself to that overflow so that, I can do better. But I have an abundant life, right? Just because uh the monetary abundance is not there doesn't mean there would people who would give every penny in their bank accounts to have the good health that I have. And we all know that that's the truth because we all know somebody like that. My own father would have given anything, right, to be able to be cured from his congenital heart disease and to live a long, long life. He lived double his life than what the doctors told him he was going to live, right? And he utilized everything, every lesson, every tool that he had, every piece of knowledge. He used it all, and he doubled his life, and he was able to create and set goals and achieve some of those dreams that he so wanted. One of them, the most important, is he wanted a family, and he got to have a family. He had 4 daughters and his wife right to the very end, right? So we have to be grateful, and we have to appreciate that abundance doesn't always look, hey, like money. It doesn't always look like money. Truly doesn't, right? Grateful that I had this webcam in this past old, oh, what's the word? I'm sure Andrew stuck it in there somewhere. So let's look at the comments and see. Um, oh, he didn't. Or maybe he did. I haven't gone down. Oh, Nancy's here too. Hi, Nancy. Oh, Robert. Robert. Hi, Robert. I get excited when I see Robert because he's somebody we get to see maybe once a month, right? So it's not that that um it's just that he has such a life that I guess we mother hen a little bit, and I do get a little excited when I see Robert come in. I hope your month is going well, Robert, right? Right? I hope it's going well. But Malvin's here too. Oh my goodness, everybody's here tonight watching me on my crappy little 1993's webcam that I've got my flashlight holding it to my PC. This weekend, we talk. Cindy just moves. She sets these goals and she moves forward. So talk about those goals again that I set for next year. The dental work with my income tax return, right? It will be enough to cover my dental work that I need done. This month, we're working on my glasses. It's going to take a paycheck, right? And it's going to take a couple of deposits that will be going into my account, and I'll take that too. And that's okay. I have everything I need in the moment, right? So we'll have my glasses taken care of. I'm going to get my laptop back this week. I'm going to get my teeth fixed, right? Just hopefully before Christmas we can start, and then I can claim all that on next year's income tax return. You utilize every tool, every laptop, every adapt, conquer, utilize, not use, right? Not use, but utilize, right? Right? Like my good friend Miles, who was so kind to, right? take care of me in the sticky situation that I was digging for myself. And how heartbroken would have I been if I had broken my laptop? The very least, Miles breaks my laptop, right? I asked him to do it, right? I asked him to help me out, and I won't feel bad that it was me because it was somebody else. But it would still be okay. But Miles is such a genius. He's going to have it figured out in no time. Oh, Robert, wouldn't that be innate? That's my goal too. I want a piece of land, but I'm not sure if I'd want to be out in the woods. My piece of land, my picturing in my head, is actually a piece of land that's maybe in a big farm field, like there's an old house on the farm that they're not using because they bought another piece of land adjoining the property. So they have a house already, but they have a house there and it's kind of abandoned, like those houses that I used to explore, right? And I would like something like in the middle of a farm field, but with forest around my piece of land. So like maybe 3 or 4 acres, right? Maybe 10 acres. Yeah, 10 acres sounds nice. But forested all around me, but all around the forest, just farm fields, right? Not out in the wilderness, out in the bush by myself. Right? Still neighbors, but still feeling like I'm by myself, right? That's my that's my dream. And actually, do I have a picture of something like yes, I do. It's not what do they call these things? When you put your dreams and stuff into writing and you bring out a book and you take out clippings and you attach the clippings and stuff. I kind of do something like that with a rental paper that I get. And then I got a whole pile here, but I got these and then I take them to the bottom of my console so that when I turn my laptop in the morning and I have my cup of coffee, right? Waiting for my computer to come alive, that I can look at my farm. And let me show you. Uh, Here's one. Yeah, actually, I have two there. So you guys can see. I don't know if you get a clear picture. I'll go slow. Okay, and I'll stop. Can you see it? See, it's a piece of land and it's all forested, and you see the little driveway in the house there. But you can see it's all surrounded by farms. So it wouldn't be like wild animals. There won't be bears and stuff in there. There'll be lots of deer for sure in my forest. But you wouldn't have bears and stuff in there because well, I don't know why, but I think I would feel safe with the because those are the kind of farms. Those are my dream properties. And there's another one kind of like that. And that one is how was that one? This one here. There's only farms on some part of it, but most of it you can see, right? There's some farm around it. But you can also see there's a big plot of land that's all forested. And there probably was a house there at one time too, 50 years ago, but it doesn't take long for forests to start growing back. Oh, something board, something board. What's it called? Nancy knows. Something board, something board, something board. Future board? No. Wish board? No. Uh, dream board? No. Vision. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. Yes, this is like my vision board, and I see it, and I'm gonna right. So I get this on Fridays when I get paid. I go to the well any Friday. I usually go to the grocery store on Friday because I know that on the weekend I'm too busy because I'm running the store on the weekend, right? So then all I have to do is go to the store Friday night, take care of myself, knowing that I have a few days off after I work my weekend, right? So if I'm into lessons or whatever I'm into, and if I'm not getting out properly, that I have what I need, right? And I don't know why I said that. Oh, but I pick up the magazine. That's what I do. I pick up the like a newspaper. Do I have one here? Do I have last week's here? Yes, I do. Here you go. I picked up one of these. I don't know if they have them in the cities that you live in, right? But it's just all real estate, and they have a rural a rural rural section where you can find farmland, right? And it goes by the area. Now I have a certain area that I like here, so here's the section that I like, right? This is where you can buy farms, you can buy places out in the bush, right? You can sometimes crown land comes available. That's nice, right? And then you look for the ones with the creek, and you look for the ones I've never looked for anything like 160 or 360 acres. I always look for the properties that are like 5, 10 acres. They're just small pieces of land. And like I said, I also look for the I also look for the pieces of land that are sitting and surrounded by farms, right? I don't know. It has a safe feel. They're usually on decent roads, right? Even though they're out in the country, right? The people are who live out in the rural areas, they're the ones who need the most secure secure roads because of the safety, because there's nobody out there to help them, right? It's not like in the city, right? If you're on the highway, not a problem, but if you're out on a dirt road and you're the only one who drives down that dirt road, right? You want to be able to get help to you really, really fast if you need it. Thank you, Kathy. Vision boards. I've done a couple of vision boards, and it was kind of strange. It freaked me out the first time I did the vision board. It was really strange because I came across my dream house. And you guys all know I love the American bungalow, right? With the built-in china cabinet and the round arched doorways and the scalloped valances, right? Valances or balances on the windows. Um, and I love the wraparound porches. I love the idea that as we mature, I wouldn't have to leave my home or drag my bed into the kitchen, because some of those abandons that we watch, don't we? We see that as people mature, it gets too difficult for them to go upstairs. And so what they do is they set up their living room, or they set up their kitchens, because right, lots of the houses I explored, they were just tiny houses, right? That they didn't even have bedrooms, and probably even they were just open spaces. Oh my goodness, did I have some really, really old houses? I'm so glad I documented them, even though they were in crappy filming and 720 and not well edited and stuff. I have all that footage. I have all that footage, and those houses are for sure on the ground now, no question, because that was like how long are we going back? 2000. My first video was 2000 and oh no, 2003. Have we been at this almost 10 years, you guys? Oh no, it can't be. I'll have to double check on that. We can't have been doing this for 10 years, right? 2013. Oh, 2014. I think I started my Instagram channel in 2014, which means I've been here for 10 years. Wow. In different levels of mindset too. That's really kind of crazy. And all of it documented. I'm not sure if I want to go back and look at some of those videos. No, I don't think so, because I have evolved. I am not that person. anymore, right? Yeah. Whoever thought that I would be at 62 years old setting goals and dreaming big? Right? Who would've thought? I wasn't even doing that at 40. I was just, right, hoping to get through the next day, right? Waiting for scraps to be thrown across my table just so I could be grateful for it, not realizing I could reach out and move towards the things, right, that I wanted to move towards. Okay, so you guys are yapping. Go backwards a little bit and see where we're starting. Okay. But yeah, great goal, Robert. Great goal. What about sweat equity, right? That we could go to work and upkeep these properties or watch the farming equipment so that we don't have to drive those great big John Deeres and stuff home because they're afraid somebody's gonna come out to their fields, which could be miles away, right? And come out to their fields and steal their equipment that they could leave them in the front of my house and I'll watch them, right? I don't know what I'll do if somebody decides to steal them, but at the very least, I can make phone calls and get notifications out there 100%. Okay. Hello, Nancy dear. I know, Nancy, right? Because I'm using a very old webcam tonight. I'm using a very old webcam because my laptop is with a friend and right, the webcam I have doesn't work. My phone won't let me go for the span and won't let me go horizontally, right? Won't let me go horizontally. Just won't let me go this way, and I can't get into my comments, right? So I thought I would try the webcam. I thought this way, at the very least, that we'd be able to stay and hang out with each other, right, for a while. I know it's a little bit of a bummer, right? And every time I look at the screen too, you guys don't notice, but it's extremely delayed. It's extremely delayed. I could see probably at least 20 seconds delayed. So I go in, I'm trying not to look at me, but I'm looking at the comments. Yeah. Oh, maybe I'm not 20 seconds looking. Maybe 6 or 7. Yeah, it's not that bad. Aw, but, right, if you had a roommate who really cared for you, like a caregiver, right? If you had an Owen, Nancy, right? Right? If he wasn't with his mom, right? We pack Owen up in a box and we'd send him off to you, dear, right? And Owen would, I'm sure, be happy to take care of you. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine what a caregiver Owen must be, right? Do you cook too, Owen? I would assume that you also cook, right? Right? Because I'm assuming that if you're caregiving for your mom doesn't have the strength, right, and the well-being to go ahead and to prepare meals that way, right? Hmm. Right, Robert? Absolutely amazing. But you could set that goal, Robert. Never too late, 64 years old. I didn't wake up to any of these goal-setting ideas until I was 57 years old, right? I wanted to be a YouTube superstar, and I just started making that movement, and right? And I'm moving, and I might not ever accomplish. that dream, right? But you have 0 chance if you don't try, right? And there's lots of people who don't try. And when you try, even if it's not an accomplishable dream, you discover things along the way, Robert. You truly discover things along the way, and it makes life easier. And sometimes in the moment, right, those goals, those dreams are not working out for you, right? Right? I'm abundant, right? Nobody can say that I'm not abundant. It's the evidence in my own life, right? Unless you knock me out with the flu or the cold, I'm not so much as taking an aspirin, right? Never had a headache in my entire life, right? I try to sympathize with somebody with a headache, but I can't imagine the feeling of a headache, even though I tell people all the time, "You're giving me a headache." But really, they're not giving me a headache, right? You're beating the poop out of you. And I don't really ever say that anyway. No, I don't think I'm not sure if I ever was that person, but in my dynamic family, there most definitely was, right? But I am proud of myself that I got the webcam out. Maybe there's another one in here. Wouldn't that be amazing if I could set it up and I could do my lives tomorrow? I don't want to start a new work tomorrow without it being, 'cause it's part of my library, right? It's my 54 words, so it's important that I show up on topic, right, every single day, but with this quality, right, I'm not gonna wanna save this, right? I'm not gonna save this to my audience. Right now, we're adapting and conquering, we're doing the very best that we can. But if I have some time, just like I had the time to find this webcam, dangle off the rafters to bring that big heavy bag down, possibly, maybe, in this mess, there is another camera. I don't know. Right now is not the time to look, but not just that little box. That's what I pulled out of the little box. That's how tight I compacted it in there. But I got the bag too. I might have to sort them through. For the most part, I'm never going to use that stuff again, right? It's obsolete. That's the word I was looking for, right? When I was talking about those things that no longer work, that are just old, not useful. That was the word I was looking for. Obsolete. Obsolete. Yeah, this stuff is obsolete. But I made something work and I wouldn't be here. I would have come live for a few, right? Until they shut me down. But I would have, you guys, I hit remember what I said? I realized that I didn't have my sharing network on, and I hit that to start sharing my network again. I bet you I could have gone live tonight, right? Because I put my sharing network on. This would have worked. I bet you. I'll try again tomorrow. That's what I've been saying with everything. Try again tomorrow. I'll try again tomorrow. Right? But it's in these tryings and failing and all that we kind of figure out something that we're doing right. And that's what goal setting is all about. You set that goal, Robert, right? You set that goal. That's an amazing goal. That would suit you very well. Get you away from that situation that you're in where you're living now. At 64, start your life. Start your life. Man, remember Robert, right? Colonel Sanders. We all know who Colonel Sanders is, don't we? Right? Colonel Sanders from Kentucky Fried Chicken, who invented Kentucky Fried Chicken. That little old fat man with the glasses and the bow tie. He didn't start Kentucky Fried Chicken until he was 70 years old. And he did all his commercials and everything. I remember Colonel Sanders when I was a kid doing the commercials. And they still use that back footage when he filmed those commercials, and they splice them into their new commercials. You guys remember that? Uh, So maybe it'll work tomorrow. In this case, being a gaming camera might work even better than than what I was using to start with. We'll see, right? It's a lot of pushing buttons, a lot of deleting, right? A lot of failing. But you set those goals, Robert. Just set it. You might not ever accomplish it, but how good are you going to feel about yourself, right? You get that little notebook pad like I use, right? You get that out and you start jotting, start making your list of things that you need to do, the things that you need to accumulate. What tools do you need? What lessons do you need? What resources do you need in order to get that dream done, Robert? Why don't you be an example to this crew? Why don't you join me in being the evidence that it can be done? Just say I'm doing it, right? You come here every Sunday, and every time you're discouraged and you think you're failing, and you just might be failing because it takes lots of failures before you succeed, right? And that's the truth, 100%. Mm. So this live tonight is just for you guys. I won't be saving this one. I'll delete it right after my live show. The quality isn't good enough for people to come in and watch it. Even though Sharon, you guys, I don't know if you guys know that, but Sharon doesn't always make it in here very right. She doesn't make it in all the time, but she's always popping in, and I always leave the live chat replay. So it remember she's always coming back, and she writes the loveliest comments, and she always tells me all the time to say hello to you guys, and she tells me what's going on with her and her son. She's just a lovely lady. I love Sharon. I love all of you guys, right? But in the moment I'm thinking of Sharon, and I love Sharon in the moment, right? Just giving her a shout out, only because I know she'll be popping in. She'll be popping in later when she puts her feet up and relaxes, right? And watch the show, even though, right, it might not be in very good resolution. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. And it's better than what it could have been, right? This live show could have ended 45 minutes ago, right? And it just might have happened. But it's experimenting, and I think tomorrow when I do my live, I'm going to try again to use my phone. Maybe it was just something in my settings. Maybe it was just in my um, my network sharing that I wasn't able to do it. Maybe I'll be able to do it tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. Right? Might fail myself. Right? Might. Seems to be the plan in the past couple of weeks. But I am optimistic. It can't just stay that way forever. And amongst all that crappy, lots of amazing things are happening at the same time too. So, again, I have to shout out those gratefuls because, like I said, abundance looks different. It's not always monetary, and lots of people would give up their monetary to have my crappy little life. Unfortunately, that's the truth, right? Right? Not unfortunately, but right. I have a great life. I'm doing exactly what's serving me in this moment so that I can make some movement in the direction where I might serve somewhere's a little bit better, right? Keeping my cup full, getting my cup full, letting it overflow, right? Divvying it out. Okay. Well, move towards it, to have some money for freedom. Right? Move towards that. It's right, just because when I say that my version of abundance, right, looks different from most people's version of abundance, right? They think money, they think not worrying about their problems, having the freedom to do the things that you do or want to do. Well, with me, I mean, I wouldn't give up my good health for anything, right? If I had it all to do again, right? I would and the reason I have my good health is the benefit of all those affirmations, or possibly I made that as a choice for myself in gifting one thing to myself, kinda like that idea of, right, I give myself to be beautiful, I wanna be beautiful, or give myself to be smart, or I give myself to be kind, or right? Or I give myself to be rich and not have to worry about bills. Give myself to have family surround me in loving and supporting ways that maybe we all get to ask for that one gift. And maybe in that part of me that comes back lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, right? Cindy doesn't get to choose that, but maybe my other parts of me are wishing for good health. And what an amazing choice, right? To say, next time I get back, right? When I get back, Google's gonna pick up on me, gonna know who I am right away just by my patterning, right? And we're off and running again. But because I understood that my good health came from my affirmations and it came from dreaming that one dream for myself, right? To have good health. You have to appreciate it. You have to be grateful for it. You have to acknowledge it and speak it, right? Because lots of people speak, oh, I got a headache. Lots of people speak, oh, right, you're getting on my nerves. Lots of people speak, right? My legs are hurting, and right. And that just drags us down because truly what we think about, we realized, right? 100%. Okay, let's look into this. Yeah, and as we get older, I think it's perfectly okay, right? To set up your surroundings. If you happen to live in a house and it's a two-story and you don't want to sell your house and get yourself a bungalow or right or a ranch style, that that or an apartment with an elevator, right? That if you don't want that, then you can adapt from concrete. You can make choices, right? And keep your house. But yeah, you might be living in the kitchen or have your bed set up in a living room or right utility room or something. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you, Andrew. Andrew's like blessing and Robert, right? Because Robert is in a situation, and he's in a situation that offers up a dream. It offers up something to look forward in those really bad moments when what's going on at home is bringing you down, right, Robert? So that you could actually make baby steps, even if it's just getting out the school binder or the notebook and starting to jot down some of those ideas for yourself, right? Maybe that first step, that baby step, is to go to your grocery store or those little metal boxes that they have on the sidewalk and get yourself a renter's magazine and check out the possibilities. How much would it cost you? Are there possibilities that you could make inquiries and offer up sweat equity where you'll be watching farm equipment or doing repairs on the home in order to, right? Or maybe because you don't necessarily have to own it, if it's your land to live on for the rest of your life, what about the possibility and being a man and being a tinker, right? Robert likes to tinker around. So he actually has qualities that farmers are looking for in right, that possibly that you could just live in the house, right? Just live in the house on a life lease, something affordable. You just have to get out of the place that you are now. And once you're set up in a place, there are organizations and there are fundings to help people, right, that are in those kind of situations to help level out that expense, right? Even I do, right? Part of my rent is taken care of by the government. That's why I would like to. I'll still get assistance, I think, but it would be a different kind of assistance. And I would be leaving open this apartment so that somebody who is in the same situation that I was in might be able to find a little bit of a safe haven for a while, that they can start getting back on their feet, and that they can start making some plans and goals for themselves. And to let you know right now, they have to be 55 years old. This is a 55 plus building that I live in, right? So they would actually, um, yeah, they would do well by themselves to just start making inquiries as to possibilities and funding and right, the cost of moving trucks. How fast could you do it? Are there conversations that you can have, right? There are magazines and right, a little bit of googling and get. Well, here in Canada they call it MLS, and it is well, maybe it's here in Manitoba, but it's all the listings of the homes, and you can look at them all over the country. And I just might make a big move, right? I love the mountains in Ontario. I do, and I would be able to visit more of those beautiful, beautiful provincial parks if I could have access to a larger part of that province. My brand is Prairie Dodgers, right? Brand names can change, but the thing is, Prairie Dodgers is such a cool. When I've got hooks in that brand now, right? They nobody, even though that I don't have the name trademark, because I've been on the platform for, oh my goodness, 10 years now. That because I've been on these platforms for so long, that the name is attached. So I don't think anybody would try to scoot it out underneath me. Um, but it is what it is. I would just change my name to something else, and that's just the way I work. Adapt and conquer, right? But yeah, same dream, similar dream of mine, right, Robert and Nancy? Right? I retired, I wasn't doing anything, right? I was just staying. You could come and stay because I'm gonna have a bungalow or a ranch. I like the ranches too, but I think for the same amount of money you would spend on a ranch, you could get a really nice bungalow. Aw, thank you, Nancy. Right? Listen to Nancy, Robert. Right? You have traits, and just like I was saying, right, that there would be people who would do anything to be in your situation. Do you know how fast Nancy would be, like, packing her bags and walking out of that house and hopping a train, right? If she was in the situation that you were in right now, right? And she would jump on that and be grateful for that. But yet, because we take things for granted, right? Me too. Holy moly. My sister taking care of me the way she did, she made me very, um, what do you call that? Dependent, right? I was living way beyond my means, and I really, really did have to learn to be independent and just, right? Nancy, right? Almost incapacitated sometimes, right? We saw that she was in her bed when her wheelchair broke, and and she was just stuck there, and yet she finds the opportunities, right, to better her situation, and all the time. I'm just reading the comments here. 100%, Robert. Those are only possessions. And if you don't do it, somehow, when they run out of funds, right, they're just gonna do it, and they're not even gonna think twice. They don't give you that respect now. What makes you think that they'll give you that respect later, right? Right? I am very possessive of things that belong to me. It's part of my programming because I've had so much taken away from me in my lifetime that, when I have things, right? It's not hard to part with them, but I don't want them put in different spots. I don't, right? I'll bring them to you. I'll do show and tell and stuff, but those are my things, right? And I would be absolutely heartbroken if I came home and my computer was gone or my laptop was gone, right? Those are your things. And if it might open up an opportunity to live a better life, Robert, this is your life, right? This is your life. 64 years old. That's nothing. That's nothing, Robert. Colonel Sanders didn't start until he was 70. Uh, right? This has been going on for years with Robert. And he's probably so sensitive that, right? That they're just shoving these ideas and these expectations down his throat, and he's going with it because, right? There's what else? He doesn't know what else to do. Yeah, that's something. And I get it. I get it, Robert. I get it. I know how it feels to be stuck by what we think is responsibility, right? But it's only responsibility because we're expected to hold on to it, right? Oh, well, Robert, every Sunday we're here, right? You've been with us for years, Robert, and it's important that you stick with us, even if it is just the once a month or the every once in a while. You have to find a way to move forward. You have to find a way to move forward, right? None of us here are letting ourselves, at least, right? At least I'm talking for myself. I can't allow anybody to dictate my life. I dictate my life, right? Otherwise, I'd have a very good idea where I might be in certain aspects of my life. But gratefully, I'm being given permission by myself to make some choices and some goals. And like I said, I might not ever meet those goals, Robert. You might not ever meet those goals, right? But you've got to make them, right? You don't have a choice. None of us have a choice, right? Otherwise, we're just sitting there, right? Deadpool, right? Just, and that's sad. That's that's really sad. And those actually are probably, right, the ones that were supposed to be meant for something absolutely incredible. But because of the programming and the state that we grow up to live by, right, we never get to realize how amazing we actually are. And, it's probably why you hang out here with us on occasion, Robert, is because you realize, right, that somebody recognizes how amazing you are, right? We think you're amazing. Aw, Robert, you're so sweet, you guys. Like that's just the sweet. And I do have people, even on my Chatters Live, right? Because we go really, really deep in Chatters Live. And, I can see how many people are joining in on the lives and stuff. But, not everybody is a participant. And not everybody has to be a participant. And maybe you're like me. Sometimes you're a participant and sometimes you're a spectator. Sometimes, right? And quite often in what I'm doing, right? And because I'm learning from other people, I spend a lot of time as a spectator because that's how I absorb, right? That's how I learn. But that's so sweet that you say that, Robert. Oh, right, and that makes it so that we send out that good cheer for Sharon because we know Sharon watches the live too. Not at the same time, but she watches later on when she gets home, right? But just like her, right? I'll give you those shout outs because I know you're out there, right? That you're hanging with us, even though you're just a spectator. But that's what I would say. Make a big dream, make a big goal. That sounds like a pretty good one to me, Robert. It certainly does, right? A little place just for you. Wouldn't you be happy with there? You said your friends are, right? They're leaving now that you're by yourself. And, when you live out in the bush all by yourself, well, that's who you are in this moment, Robert. Maybe your dreams are accommodating your dreams. Does that make sense? Right? Because you're alone, right? That that you have to have a home, you have to have a dream that will allow you to be on your own, right? I spend a lot of time on my own too, but it's all by choice, and I'm grateful I have a job that I do have the opportunity to ground and to remain social and active, right? In participating in being a human being, and that's what I'm doing, right? But you too, Robert, in just showing up here on Sundays when you do, you're doing the exact same thing. And even if you're just a spectator, right, you're still absorbing. I would say, let's start with a goal, Robert, right? That sounds like a pretty good goal. I would say commit to that goal and see where it might take you. Good advice that Nancy just gave there because she said the internet is your best source right now, Robert. It's an outlet. It's what you need. Truly, it's what we all need, right? I wish all of us were posting. I know Nancy is a content creator. I know Owen has videos up, right? So does Kathy. Andrew, no, Andrew's not active on social media except here with me, right? Except here with me. But wouldn't he be amazing with his own broadcast? Or you could even do something like put up one of a beautiful picture. You could put a beautiful landscape picture up, and then you could go live, right, with just the picture and nothing else, Andrew. And you could do like what we're doing here in the comments, and you could build your own community just in the comments. There are lots of content creators who do that 100%. I follow a few of them. And I don't even know what they look like, right? Because it's just a picture. And I'm just listening to the voices and not seeing the picture. And that's a good way too to start your social media because lots of people are afraid to be seen, right? Well, they're just as afraid to be heard. But if you could just have to tackle one, right? I think most people would tackle being heard first, right? Because you want to feel things out, you want to get your word out and let yourself be heard so you can feel out if there are other people who feel the same way or think the same way as you do, right? So why did she stay, Robert? Did she just stay for the house? I don't understand. I would just go see a lawyer, Robert. Just go see a lawyer and have your house put up for sale. Right? Put the house up for sale and take 50-50 and just leave. Or like you said, right? Sell everything you have. Sell everything you have and get yourself that little piece of land. Here in Manitoba for land, oh, for sure you can get a little piece for under 100,000, 100%, right? You could even find places where you get yourself a little house on that land for under 100,000 if you could figure out a way to scrape up that money, right? And trying to get to Canada, well, that's pretty amazing. You might not want to come and turn into a Canadian, but maybe in your right in your own state that you might find something. Oh, Nancy, you're so sweet. Oh my goodness. Amazing. I have the most amazing food here. Right? This is why I want like the right? How could I delete this video even with the crappy um frame rate that I have? Like you guys, it's so bad. It is quality is 360p. That's the maximum in this live, but it is what it is, and I'm proud that I figured out a way in order to do my whole life. And look at we're almost done our life now, and we found a way to make it happen. So I'm good with that. Unfortunately, we don't get to save it for Sharon. Maybe I'll save it overnight. Maybe I'll save it overnight for Sharon. Maybe Sharon will get up in the middle of the night and she'll see that I've gone live, right? Oh, yeah, she sounds like a narcissist to me, Robert, right? And if that's the case, you're probably very empathic. You're probably very sensitive, and it's very hard for you to say no. It's very hard for you to stand your ground, right? And probably she puts the screws to you. I get it. I understand those dynamics 100%, right? And 100% Nancy is everywheres. right? There's a lot, right? You can't just be a victim, right? You're you were victimized, Robert, or you are victimized, but you're not a victim, right? And if you really, really wanted to do something, right, you would do it 100%. You would find you would find a way, right? You start with the baby steps. You start with these conversations when you come in here on Sunday night. We have these conversations and we support each other, right? Right? Each one of us, I think, well, maybe not each one of us, but we have always supported each other's in our difficult times. And at the very least, even if you didn't have those difficult times, you would at least know that if you wanted to, you could come in here on Sunday night and, right, and be enveloped by ideas and kindness, caring people, right? Ticked off people like Nancy, who's going to come by you and grab you by the scruff of your neck if you don't show up. But it's nice to know that you do show up, and if you don't show up, right, in the coming weeks, I'll know that you're there, Robert, and I'll throw that good cheer for you because, right, yeah, it's a sad existence, right? When you live around and you surround yourself with people that, you know, they don't you don't mean anything to them. And they're the ones that mean the most to you. And that's a scary thought, isn't it? That's handing over your life to someone who doesn't have your best interest at heart. And that's the truth, right? Oh, you guys, before we go, happy Thanksgiving, right? Tomorrow is Canadian Thanksgiving. We have it. Is it exactly a month before the States? Today is it's on the 9th on on October 9th here this year. Uh, and oh, and we have no Remembrance Day coming up on the 11th. Yeah. So it is Thanksgiving and it is time to just show a little bit of gratefulness, to be grateful for those things that you don't recognize as abundant, right? Oh my goodness, Dave showed up right at the end. Uh, oh, happy Thanksgiving, Dave. We have some buffering and I'm using an old webcam only because my laptop is in repairs. But we will be up and running guaranteed in the next couple of days, I would hope. But if not, I will dig through my big box and my big recycle bag of wires and gadgets from 1993 and we'll see if I have a little bit better of a webcam. I might. This kind of stuff, I don't usually throw it away because if something goes down, you at very least need a spare. And I'm going to clean these wires up because I know that most of the stuff I don't need and it can go. And at the very least, I'll be able to minimize all that. What's the word I used? Um, I forgot the word again. I forgot the word again. But my big mess of wires, you guys. So it's office area, the office desk area is my project for my set of days off. I'm on my days off now. So I want to tear down my office area, pull everything out, scrub my windowsills, sweep and wash the floors, move things around a little bit, scrub everything, put it all back together, put my air conditioner away, maybe put another desk or a little table there that I can use as a workstation. Put some of these books away. I got a big container for my books that I don't have room on my shelf for. So we'll get that done. We'll get lots done in this process of, right, working at getting back online. I've got adventure videos, you guys. The moment my laptop is back up and running, I'm going to put up a video for you guys. So watch for my videos this week. That will be a good sign that we are back up and running. Okay, you guys, let's say our goodbyes. Um, a tackle hug. Oh my goodness, definitely. Don't mess with Nancy. And yet she is the most optimistic, determined person, right? On my list for sure. I can't imagine the battles that she's gone through, right? We are not victims here. Yes, we have been victimized at times, but we are not victims. We take our fate and our destiny, our goals, our dreams, and all those little packages, right? And we work with them. And we work with them to the best that we can. Okay, you guys, that's it for tonight. We got through another day without the laptop, right? So grateful for these little ideas that make things possible for me. And maybe it wasn't perfect, right? But it's appreciated that it did the trick. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, you guys, have a great night. We'll see you next week, maybe, Dave. If you have the time, pop in. Nancy, you have a great week. Thank you for your input tonight with Robert, right? There is solutions for Robert, and I think it is in the goal setting and taking the baby step, right? Get that book out. Put some ideas down in a book today and put that book somewhere where, right? Right? Nobody else is gonna find it and cause you issue. Oh my goodness, I gotta do something with that stuff behind me too. My earthenware. I've got so much of it. It's just look at it all, you guys. That's just one shelf that you see there. There's like 4 shelves or 3 shelves all stuffed full. Gotta do something about that. Not this weekend, right? But it's on the list. Okay, you guys, have a great night, and we'll see you next Sunday. If you want, you can pop in. I'll be going live tomorrow on my live show. What's my good share? If I possibly can. Um, if not, I will probably go live on my Instagram this week because my Instagram is not failing me in the moment and I'm not failing it. And it would be a good way for me to show my appreciation to the people who follow my content over there. Right? They don't get to see every single day like they used to, right? Now I am a Google girl. I've always been a Google girl, but I'm back on the YouTube and we'll be back up and running, right? You hit those ceilings and right, you have to give it a little punch just to see if it'll give a little bit. Okay, you guys, that's it. See you next week. Bye. Bye. Again, that shut that and then stream and done.